Hello, Al Pals. Welcome to Saturday Night Rewatch with Big Al and Troy. Tonight, Big Al presents a tribute to the late, great Kirk Douglas, who we just lost last week, was it? Or a week ago?
Yeah, it was.
So
Well,
a
not
little over
quite.
a couple weeks ago, or about a week and a half ago.
About a week ago.
And
And who you're looking a lot like tonight.
Yes,
see.
I have always had a wonderful resemblance to him. Without the beard, got the dimple in the chin,
squared off chin. Yeah.
Yes, I am a remarkable specimen of a man. When it comes down to now, I've always liked Kirk Douglas. Always liked Spartacus, which of course is, if everyone says name a Kirk Douglas film, that's the first one they're going to name. Sure. It'd probably be the first one I name too, because it's just so popular. My favorite, the one we're going to watch tonight, is The Vikings, 1958, and kind of based on the legend of Ragnar Lothbrok and King Ayala and that situation. Anybody who watches The Vikings on the History Channel will hear some familiar names. So, but just different, kind of shifted around. The history is so muddled anyway in reality that people just keep doing it different ways. It's just they're using their artistic representation, and but
it is true. We're talking about something that happened over 1,000 years ago. So
yes,
I mean, accuracy is entirely speculative.
Yeah. I've always been a fan of the Vikings, the era of the Vikings, and I have recreated the Viking. I have portrayed a Viking in battle. I have died gloriously on the field and hoping for Valhalla when I was in that medieval group. But yeah, let's see who we got in here tonight. Nanette was first. Nanette. I don't know why I went Imperial tonight.
Well, do you know any Viking songs that you could put her name to? I mean, otherwise, you're fine with whatever.
The one thing about this film, I love the music to it.
Yeah.
It's like, and there's like a Nanette.
There you go.
Okay, there we go. That's one of the musical cues from it. Melissa Harris, hi, thanks for joining us. Phoenix Lord Osterman in the house. Casey Scott,
hey.
Aged Boomer, Daniel Heron, Owen Lister, welcome. Okay, well, yep, those are the usual suspects so far. So far, we got 6, not a lot.
I'd say we're doing pretty good because we got 6 watching and we got 8 thumbs up. That's pretty damn awesome. I don't know how that happens, but there you go.
That's real good. But
so I'm going to throw out the first bit of trivia for the night. The picture that you're showing right now. See, keep in mind, I'm going to back up and say I will mention what I said last week. I have not seen this movie, so this is going to be my first time through it.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yes, but that picture that you're showing, I see that he's wearing a contact lens, so I'm guessing he must lose his eye at some point in the story.
Yeah, it's a very significant.
Okay, so what I do know is that in the filming of this movie, I guess it was a very painful application that he was wearing, and he could really only wear it for a few minutes, get a shot, and then get the thing out. So
yeah, I mean, because back then contact lens tech was not like it is today.
It wasn't precision,
flexible and nice. If you had like that thing was probably as good as putting a broken piece of glass in your eye.
Yeah, and probably felt like it for sure.
Yeah, but all the more too. I mean, the scars, great makeup job on the scars too, because like I said, Kirk Douglas was a handsome man, and that's part of it too. Part of the movie too is that he was very the reason why he doesn't have a beard. They kind of tackle that. they mentioned that at the beginning.
There's another piece of trivia that I can give you. He actually had told everybody that was going to be in the film, he told the guys, I got a
Oh,
prize for the best beard.
Yeah.
And then when they all showed up, he had no beard himself.
Yeah. But you know, one, I mean, would you really, I mean, he's the chin, he's the dimple.
Yeah, you don't want to cover that up.
You don't want to hide that. But they very I think very deftly handled it in the script. It's a nice little line. Ernest Borgnine comes up with it at the beginning, why he does not shave his face, and it's simply because he thinks he's too handsome and all the girls love him. So, and who am I to I have the same problem.
Well,
you know?
my understanding is the other problem is he needed to look younger than he actually was. He's
playing he's playing a man in his 20s, and at the time he was 40, I think.
Yeah.
And another funny thing was that Ernest Borgnine, who plays his father, is actually younger than Kirk Douglas.
Well, it doesn't surprise me, because I mean, that's when you go back to these movies from the 50s and 60s, it's very common that people did not play their age, and people playing their parents were so close to their age. It was,
even, I mean, they do it now. I mean, you look at people from like 90210 and Melrose Place and all that stuff. These are guys in their 40s playing people in their 20s.
Yeah.
Acting like they're in their teens. But let's see, we got a few more people here. Mr. Matchstick, Corvette Rocks. That's a great name, Corvette Rocks. We still got to watch Corvette Summer.
Yes. Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah, Chris P in the house. Okay, so we'll take a few more minutes and we'll watch the film. Don't want to give too much information, or we'll lose all the stuff to talk about during the film. But yeah, I have been planning since I've been doing a rewatch, and I've always had in the back of my mind, one, I want to do the Vikings, and I thought, I want to do it as a tribute to Kirk Douglas, but I don't want him to die in order to watch the Vikings. And then I heard he did it. I was like, oh man! And I thought,
well, now we
watch the Vikings. Gotta do it, And 103. And I mean, survived a very massive stroke.
Yeah.
Many years ago. I mean, he really overcame a lot in his life, and a prolific author. I think he was a painter. It's just an all around, Renaissance man kind of guy. But
and I think he pretty much epitomizes the I want to say stereotypical tough guy, but I mean, to have survived that stroke and lived to be 103 years old, I'd say he was a literal tough guy.
He walked the walk and he talked the talk.
There was a comedian I heard years ago who was doing a stand-up routine where he was talking about Michael Douglas, and he said something about, can you imagine if his father Kirk Douglas had played in that movie Fatal Attraction? It would have gone very, very differently.
Yeah,
he said, men, we are declaring war on Glenn Close. Come on.
This bitch ain't going to mess with my
That's right.
Yeah.
Instead of course, then it would be very short.
But I love it. What I just said about the whole walk the walk thing, I totally switched that. I flipped it. It was like when you talk if you talk the talk, you're gonna have to walk the walk. That's the way it's supposed to go. But
I totally missed it. I would say you were doing just fine with it.
Yeah, I kind of flipped it. But yeah, it's been a nice couple of days. We're almost at 10. I'll start like in about a minute or two.
Sure.
I think. We're going to start at the very beginning, just before the line starts to roar. The MGM logo, which is literally the 0000 mark on my MP4. So if you have the disc just before the line roars, that black area, that's where we're going to start. But yeah, had a very good weekend. I actually watched two really good films. I watched Sonic,
I heard that was very good.
Which is a wonderful, nice little family film. No, it's not an Oscar kind of winning performance by anybody, or even anything grand by special effects. But it's a fun little family movie, and it in lieu of a couple of fart jokes, that's about all you really have in that film. And kids love fart jokes, so I don't begrudge them that. Um, Marsters is fun. So I mean, Cyclops and Jim Carrey is great playing the maniacal villain. He's always good. I mean, I have trouble with his politics, but
Yeah.
I'm not
That's
gonna
why
I'm
I
not
just
gonna
wish
diss him for a great performance.
I
He had a
just
great
wish these
performance.
actors would just shut up about their politics. Nobody is paying them for their politics. Just shut up and act or sing or whatever it is you do.
Yeah, and all the Birds of Prey people trying to diss it. Sonic has already garnered 31 million.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of commentaries about that, and the one thing I will say is I'm not going to begrudge anyone from Warner Brothers or any of those actors who are slinging whatever stones they can, because let's face it, they're sinking, they're drowning.
Yeah,
They need to do whatever they can.
They're dishing out the water from the sinking boat as
Yeah.
fast as they can, trying to keep it afloat.
It's everybody else
but
that's online trying to white knight for them that annoys me.
Yeah, but you know what? Stop. It's not working. Sonic's a good family-friendly movie.
And again, it's another movie. It's just like when they started this whole thing against Alita. It's like, why is there a competition here? What do these two movies have to do with anything?
I mean, there are enough people out there. They'll go see what they want.
Yeah,
and that's fine. But also today, I watched a movie it came out a couple years ago, Fighting with My Family, about Paige, the WWE wrestler.
Okay,
had The Rock in it.
Huh?
Really nice little film. I enjoyed that.
I hadn't even heard of it.
Yeah, there was this goth girl, Paige, who wrestled for WWE. She's still a part of the thing, but she got hurt and not. But it was kind of her backstory. I
had seen a promo for that. It looked good.
Yeah, it's a good little film. It has Nick Frost in it and Lita Headey.
Oh yeah,
playing her mom.
Sarah Connor.
Yeah, she was gorgeous. But okay, we got 13 people in here. If they're not in here already, you know what? Tough.
Can we get 5 more thumbs up?
Yeah, give us
I am not above begging. Please
give me the 10
thumbs.
Get me the 10 and I'll start the movie.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, it's a great movie, and I'm only kidding. I'm not going to worry about getting to 10. I'm going to start it. Because I want to see it. I love this movie. I watch this movie all the time, and it's just one, because especially I always loved. I did medieval recreation, so I dressed like a Viking. I just wish I had more pictures. Unfortunately, I never really had a camera when I was there, and
because you were being authentic.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, that, and plus, just the few pictures that were taken, I've lost contact with all those people, and I wasn't necessarily like some great costume guy, but it was fun, and it was always fun, fighting, banging a shield, and falling to your doom. I always died. I don't think I've ever survived one of the recreation battles. I was always on the losing side.
Let's face it, back then most people did die.
Yeah,
the winning side was like 3 guys that crawled away.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a brutal time, brutal. But of course, Hollywood makes it look wonderful and grand and glorious, and you know what? That's the way we kind of approached it when we were having our feasts and stuff. We had fun, sang songs, kissed loose women, and it was awesome. But yeah, start like I said. Yeah, get ready to start. Like I said, to the countdown, 3, 2, 1, then I'll say go. We are starting right before the MGM lion begins his glorious roar. And if everybody's ready to go, okay, everybody ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, start.
Hope that didn't scare you too much, Hal.
Not this time, no.
You were ready for it this time.
I was bringing it up earlier, and it takes a time to cycle. So the roar caught me in my headphones before I was really aware. The Vikings And I love how they use the Bay Tapestry aesthetic.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're talking about. Reference to Odin.
Yeah. Which is quite true.
Is that Orson Welles as the
Uh,
narrator?
good pickup, my friend. It is Orson Welles doing the narration.
Nice.
But yeah, the anybody knows the Bay Tapestry, it was actually done as a tribute to the Battle of Hastings and William the Conqueror's victory of conquering England. It really had very little to do with the Vikings, except for they did acknowledge the Battle of Stamford Bridge, which happened a few weeks before Hastings, and kind of it weakened their force and enough that by the time they got to Hastings, William, who was from France but was Viking descent, took over, and that's how we kind of got English history as we do today. Oh, from the wrath of the Northmen.
Yeah.
Ernest Borgnine playing Ragnar Lothbrok. Or they just call him Ragnar in this one.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen there.
Oh yeah, that's part of the plot. Let's just say some things are left behind.
Ah.
And she just wasn't any normal woman.
My understanding from what I was reading online is that the as they were doing the research for this, they paid close attention even to things like the breeds of horses.
Yeah, they like I said, for the time, this film did as well as they could with the information they had. They still, of course, had to Hollywoodify it a little bit. Because if you, I mean, like, if you ever see screen chainmail, it's actually woven yarn, basically. But to do real chainmail is expensive and takes a long time. See, that's, she was the queen, and Ragnar had his way with her.
Man, you think that's a real set or a real location shot?
They filmed they filmed the outdoor stuff was done in Norway, in actual, basically on location. I know the castle shots were done in a castle in northern France.
So that's probably a location shot. Yeah.
They also did some in Croatia.
Wow.
Some stuff. Frank Thring, one of the great movie villains of the 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
You have a biblical epic and you need a Herod or a Pontius Pilate.
That's your guy, yeah.
You call Frank Thring. And his last film was Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now that is one cool looking, what is it, a gorget that she's wearing?
Yeah, I'm not sure of the term, but it is a beautiful, beautiful costume.
That looks like it's probably all hand beadwork.
Yeah. Such a gracious looking woman too.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yep. Yeah, shut up. Don't say nothing.
Yeah. She is with Ragnar's child, but this child is also for of the queen. So there is some standing there. Although in real, the kid would have no claim to anything.
Yeah.
Especially if they knew he was the bastard son of a Viking. And like I said, fans of the Vikings will already recognize a couple names. King Ayala here.
Yep.
Whoops. Bad Omen. And of course, Ragnar Lothbrok. A cute little spud. Now, of course, if you look what's around his neck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a beautiful set. I would love to live in a place that had that aesthetic, that medieval stone and wood.
Mr. Matchstick, I'm looking at looks like, is that 658? 7, yeah. We just hit 702, 703.
Yeah, I'm at 706, 707. Of course, put the which is they never really stopped the raids. They kind of bought them off.
Yeah. Please leave us alone already.
Yeah, they just paid them. The Vikings learned it was just as profitable.
Just as profitable to collect protection money as it was.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they were kind of the gangsters of their day. And of course, the word Viking is not necessarily a term for their people. It was an activity.
Yeah.
They went a Viking. A Viking was basically a raiding. God, Janet Leigh, look how beautiful that woman is. Mother of Jamie Lee Curtis, of course.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
But
something tells me her bullet bra was not exactly period appropriate, but that's okay.
Yeah, I'm not complaining. Not at all. You know, a lot of people have become enamored with her in Psycho. Of course, this was before Psycho.
Yeah.
But I really love her in this. I think she's just absolutely gorgeous. Of course, England at the time was a bunch of little smaller kingdoms like Essex, Wessex, Northumbria, Mercia. Cornwall. Just like a king, doesn't get his own hands dirty. Of course, Frank Thring, of course, Ben Hur and King of Kings. God, such a great bad guy. And of course, you find out that of course the guy is in league
Yeah,
with the Vikings.
yeah.
He's guilty of exactly what the king accused him of. And I think they said they built three of these Viking ships from I forgot the blueprints they used, but
Yeah,
look
I
at,
guess they were really, really authentic, and in fact, so authentic that they were built for the to be appropriately sized for people 1,000 years earlier. So
yeah,
everyone on these ships was a little bit too tall.
yeah.
But they were
Beautiful,
made in conjunction with a Norwegian historical society.
yeah, beautiful scenery, beautiful cinematography too. There's a group close to here that called the Longship Company, and they have a longship called the they have a new one. They had one called the Fear Draka, Fire Dragon. I forget what the new one's named. Oh, the Sea Raven, the Raven or something like that.
Man, they really are snazzy looking ships.
Yeah, they were beautiful because not only were they meant to be they were meant to be fast. They what made them so dangerous is that they could go into river areas and at low water,
Yeah.
and so they could go very far inland. A scruffy looking bunch too. Of course, contrary to popular belief, the Vikings were a very well groomed crew of people. I've always loved the Viking aesthetic,
Yeah.
the runes, the swirl of the artwork in their craft work. I love this little kid just like coming down in his little fur diaper thing.
Yep.
It's so cute. And of course, about to meet the main man here in a minute, who you soon find out is not really the hero of the piece.
Who is Tony Curtis?
Tony Curtis is really more the hero.
Yeah.
Now pay attention to the woman that he's with.
Oh yeah, I can't help but do so.
Yeah, but no, she comes into play later a little bit. Look at that dimple, man.
Yeah.
That thing had its own address.
Yep.
Melissa says, "How did they have bullhorn helmets? Are they from animals they slayed and eat?" Actually, that's one of the historical falsehoods. Is
Yeah.
the Vikings did not have horned helmets. There were some ceremonial helmets found that looked like they had protrusions coming out, and that's kind of where that came from. And during the Victorian era, Vikings were that's how they were portrayed, these with horns, kind of also in because they were thought to be so demonic. So that's why they film on. Their helmets were like anybody else's helmets, very conical or Spangen helm, which is you have the two cross pieces, the band across, and you kind of hammered four panels into it. But they did have horn. They had they had cattle. They had access to cattle there. Time for a drink. Oh, such a waste. That hurts.
I know, that's wrong. That is just wrong. You're right. They were supposed to be like about. I mean, they really were about the same age, but
Yeah,
he's just made up to look older.
yeah. Of course, they just said why he didn't have a beard is like because he's so vain.
Yeah.
Casey Scott, you're welcome. That's like I said, I can bring a little history to it. I always wondered about the helmets with the protrusion going down the back of the neck as well. And there are actually some historical examples of that. I guess it protected the neck a little bit.
Kind of makes sense. I mean, that's why Klingons have armor on their back too.
Mm-hmm.
That's a beautiful bird.
Yeah.
Yep.
What a grand old sport too.
Yep.
Oops.
Yeah, coming.
Like, get this damn bell off me, I might be a little quicker.
That's a big one.
Oh, Longclaw? Yeah.
He also doesn't seem very happy.
No, he's not. He feels like he got showed up.
Yep.
And of course, you were asking about the scars in the eyeball.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about to happen.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's an owie.
Yeah. blood's a little too red, but
Yeah, are we watching a Hammer film here?
but that would hurt like
Oh
hell,
yeah, it
man.
would. Well, that looks like some yum.
Oh yeah, I mean the Vikings are probably the closest thing to Klingons the
Oh
Earth
yeah,
has ever had.
yeah,
Like fill the horns and roast the pig and
yep.
one of these days I need to get a big old drinking horn like that. I got like a real small one.
I actually have one.
Yeah, I have one. It's like it's a nice one, but it doesn't hold a lot
Yeah.
and it's kind of wonky. And poor Tony Curtis, they always put him in these little short shorts.
Well, he does seem to have had the legs for it.
Yeah, he was another good looking man.
Is this where Tony Curtis and Janet Leigh met?
They, I I think maybe they did. I'm not 100% sure.
So what we might actually be seeing here is, the history that led to Jamie Lee Curtis.
There you go. Maybe it's because of this film that we have Jamie Lee Curtis.
If it weren't for this movie, we wouldn't have had Halloween. Where's Fan Man? Where's Fan Man?
Yeah, I had invited him.
Yeah,
He said he might pop into chat. I mean, neither guy shows up seem that interested in the movie, but if they are listening and want to join in, just pop in the chat and I'll send them the link if they want to.
both getting to be such busy family men.
Yeah.
Don't have time for the streams anymore.
Oh, listener, fill my drinking order with Mountain Dew. I would too.
So that Nanette and I do a lot of the Victorian and the steampunk and the whatnot. So
Yeah.
instead of going around with the animal horns, we go around with glass goblets and whatnot. And that's usually what we're drinking. We're drinking soda or Mountain Dew or energy drinks or. No thunder.
Nope. Of course, if you did see the pendant that fell off of him, right? Yep. Now we know who Tony Curtis is. Yep. Eric is the Ragnar's son from the ravaging of the queen.
The Corvette rocks. You're not just whistling Dixie. When you're working those conventions, you need all the energy you can get. But you know what? Ernest Borgnine, I swear, he always looked old, even when he was young. He was one of those kind of guys. I swear that blonde guy looks like somebody from Game of Thrones. Ew. Yeah, that's a little creepy. Hey, did we lose Big Al? Oh no. How did that happen? Whoa. Is there something I need to do to he's gone from the StreamYard. He abandoned us. Well, I'll stay with y'all as long as I possibly can. Yeah, and I see somebody made a joke about the professor. The professor needs to be here right now. The girl's getting all bound up and whatnot. I'd love to hear what the professor has to say about that. Although now I'm suspecting that this is what Al was referring to when he told me to pay attention and remember her. Wow. Yeah, that seems like justice, right? That she was guilty. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, yeah. No, you don't want to watch out for the wow. That's yeah. And Casey Scott, yeah, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. There is no way the way he threw that would have hit at that angle. But okay, never mind. Yeah, this one's got to be tough because you almost have to hit sideways. Well, Sir Torrin Clegane, thank you so much for letting us know that. So yeah, they were already married by this point. Okay. Oh, so what you're saying is that this may have been Jamie Lee Curtis's first movie. Okay, okay. Yeah, this is a hard shot. Yeah, see, he's lining it up sideways. How else are you going to hit that? Yeah, but you don't swing wide. Wow. Wow. That's one heck of a way to get a haircut, I tell you. You know, Lister, you're right. I think we're about due for a really good Viking film. You know, especially with the popularity of that series on TV. And take a look at the background there. That's got to be a matte painting. That is just amazing. Yeah, that's not a good situation to be in. You know, Mr. Matchstick, I think that a lot of people would agree with you on that. We do need more good history movies. And when you consider how well 1917 is doing, which again, I haven't had a chance to see yet, but I really, really want to. I think that's telling a lot of people that there really is a market for those kinds of films. We're really kind of getting tired of the BS that they've been putting out there. In fact, I've said for a long time, with all of these serial films and the shared universes and the blah 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 blah, why don't they just do some historical epics and do like a series of them? We just got what was the one that we got? The that Pacific the Pacific naval battle one. I'm forgetting, but you could do a whole series of World War II stories that are all interconnected. You know, you know. I would have to say, Owen Lister, that I don't think that that skill is really gone. I think we still get the spirit of those matte paintings and whatnot today with the some of the digital effects that we get when you get good CG, especially good CG backgrounds. I think that's very much in the spirit of the old matte paintings. Midway, thank you, Mr. Matchstick. I love that movie too. I saw it twice. Although I do think that Midway would have been a perfect example of a film that they could have broken up into two movies. They could have done, Pearl Harbor and the bombing of the mainland, and then the second movie should have been about Midway. That's just my thought. So, Mr. Matchstick, you want more history movie rewatches? Okay. I'm totally for that. You know, I'm your history guy when it comes to that. What I'd like to do is do a double feature, not a double feature, but maybe over the course of a month or so, do in my 2 weeks, do Gods and Generals and Gettysburg. That's what I've been thinking. Yes, Owen Lister. That's what I'm saying. A World War II style Avengers, but not just World War II either. It could be World War One. It could be, a Victorian era thing. It could be really anything. Oh, I'd love to see more samurai films. That's for sure. Really? So the son of Max Fleischer was the director of this movie. Well, that's pretty cool. I had no idea. Okay, Agent Boomer, I'll have to take your word for that. I did not know there even was an Alamo movie with Billy Bob Thornton. Gotta say, I'm not the biggest Billy Bob Thornton fan. Nothing against him. I just haven't seen a movie with him that I really cared for. Well, Mr. Matchstick, I think we're going to get along just fine. I think we already have, but I didn't know that. But that's really cool. Yes, Melissa Harris. Caligula is an effed up film, from what I've heard. That's probably not one that I think we want to do as a rewatch. If I ever get monetized, maybe I'll do it as a private rewatch or something like that. When Big Al said something about it being like a biblical epic, this is very much filmed in that style.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can
Thank
hear you
God.
now.
My browser crashed.
Yeah, I kind of figured that's what it was. Welcome back, Big Al.
I had to, but my movie kept playing, so they just pulled him out, right? And,
yep.
He's just getting his thing knocked off.
Yep.
So
So you're back there with us.
I've been with you. I could hear Odin's breath saving Eric.
Ah, but you weren't able to follow the stream. You couldn't hear us because
Actually, I could hear
broadcast?
you. Everything froze, but I could hear you. I just couldn't react. And
Gotcha.
StreamYard kicked me out.
Oh, yeah. I was getting
But
kind of worried. I'm like, am I going to be able to keep this going?
but I could still hear you guys through the YouTube.
Oh,
So
good point. Good point. Yeah. I was just worried that after you, because you're the one that started the StreamYard stream, I was like, well, if he's gone, does that mean I'm going to drop out now too, or what?
I wondered that, but I think it's on me to close the stream.
Gotcha.
And I just closed the browser. I've just got one browser open with my movie playing.
Yeah. And that was the other thing. I was like, I don't think I can like invite you back in because I'm not really the administrator.
Yeah. Thank God I'm learning how it works.
I'm more lost than you are.
I'm liking how they've given each other the stanky eye.
Yeah. So did you hear all the talk about future movies? They want more historic films. So I told them I'd be happy to do some of those.
Yeah, I love historical films. History is such a rich, interwoven tapestry of events that there's very, very vast amounts of material that you could draw from, because
there are just these great stories waiting to be told.
Yeah.
And in fact, some of them, even when they're made into movies, sometimes they back off from the actual history because reality is stranger than fiction sometimes. It just seems so unbelievable.
And even beyond history, you also have the mythology that's linked in the history, like some of the Celtic histories, like Finn McCool, whoever. But there's lots of like Celtic legends and stuff that can be cued into. But I love their little compass device.
Oh yeah,
their compass. Yeah.
Owen Lister wants a 10 Commandments rewatch. I would be totally in favor of that.
I would be totally in for that.
Say around Easter time,
Easter time started around 8 Eastern, 7 Central, and just do like
the whole
do the whole shebang. It's like,
but what we should do is we should ask the professor if he wants to do it on the Bible Geek channel.
I don't know if he wants to do something like that. I don't know if he has the
bandwidth.
No, not the band. I just don't know if he has the desire to sit around for a movie that long. He would probably split it into 2. I would hate to do that.
Yeah.
Because, the whole point of it's every year it's an event.
Yeah.
Where, it usually starts 7:00 and you go through midnight. And I always have the bet with myself, can I stay awake before the Red Sea parts? If I make it, I feel like I've accomplished something.
Because one of the things I remember about that was like taking a break at the intermission and getting some popcorn, going to the bathroom, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, a lot of films with some intermissions that are built into the runtime of the movie.
Yeah,
like a Gone with the Wind. I think 10 Commandments does too.
Yeah.
Melissa Harris is asking about Hercules films or Clash of the Titans. Just to let you guys in, tonight was going to be Clash of the Titans.
Yeah,
I was going. That's the movie I wanted to do for tonight, but then we lost Kirk Douglas. So I was like, I've got to do Vikings.
Yeah,
but we'll do Clash of the Titans definitely at a later date.
So Nanette is recommending The Last Temptation of Christ. Owen Lister is recommending The Passion of the Christ. I mean,
my God,
we could really turn the whole
month
into.
Seen Passion of the Christ?
Oh yeah,
that is
to the theater to see it.
That is such a brutal film to watch.
It's heavy duty, yeah.
Oh my God. I once was sitting, my priest was visiting me, and we were talking about Passion of the Christ, and he liked it, but he didn't. He thought the punishment, the scourging.
Yeah.
He's like, there's no way anyone would have been able to survive that amount of punishment.
Yeah.
He'd have been in a shock and died.
Although I got to admit that it was very much told from a Catholic standpoint, and
Oh yeah, well that's, I mean,
I remember how
Gibson.
the nuns described it in school when I was a kid, and it sounded very much like that. Oh,
I like that he has the ocular parts on the helmet.
What I don't like is the bows that they're using. They're such lightweight bows, and you can hear it. They're going clickety click click.
Yeah,
and it's like, you got to be kidding me!
I like those little kitty fiberglass bows.
Yeah, yeah. It's like those arrows can't even make it to the other ship. But they wouldn't be able. These actors wouldn't be able to draw back a historically accurate bow.
And the one thing, I don't think that ship that the English are on, I think that's that's still about 100 years away, historically. But that's why those things were built high on them, was to combat the Vikings. The Vikings are why ships grew those tower parts, because they had to shoot down on them. That was the only way that they could combat them. But yeah, Passion of the Christ is a brutal film. Last Temptation of Christ.
Yeah,
it is a very controversial film, but I liked it.
I actually remember before Passion of the Christ came out, our church had used the crucifixion scene from The Last Temptation to kind of give an idea of what it was like. The lamentation of their women.
I like how he steps on his face.
Yeah.
Of course, the thing he put on his helmet.
Uh-huh.
I would have to open the eyes up a bit. You have to. He's not going to be able to see well. Now, if you've ever seen like the ones with the ocular guards, they're really cool, but the eyes are much bigger.
Yeah,
so you could see.
Yeah, that's gonna work.
Yeah. Phoenix Sword asked me, I don't think this film is any more accurate to the Vikings. To be honest, not really. I mean, there are a lot of historical inaccuracies in the film,
but again, as someone who really is into history, I also have to consider the Hollywood history in this, and they made a good faith effort for the time, and we've learned a lot more about this period and the Vikings since the 1950s. So you kind of got to be fair here, you know.
Yeah. Age Boomer asks us if we've ever seen Quo Vadis. I have, long time ago, so I don't remember a lot about it. It's kind of confused a lot of other films for me. Because there are a lot of I always like the Roman period films too. Quo Vadis, also the fall of the Roman Empire. Big fan of the miniseries like Claudius.
Yeah. They're not like that one too.
I loved that. I still consider I, Claudius one of the greatest acting pieces ever done. The actors in that were just so wonderful. All the hot Viking women are like, Einar's back.
Yeah.
About, ooh, nice legs. Stout Viking women.
Wolf 10 Media, Al's been watching that Viking series. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I like the Vikings. It ended on a hell of a cliffhanger too for the mid-season finale. Now I love it. This is something that I was reading about, that they were practicing this.
Yeah.
And Kirk Douglas convinced the director to let him try it.
And
he did it.
Yeah.
With no practice.
They said that when they were filming this, they were actually filming an activity that had not happened in over 1,000 years.
Yeah.
I'm like, yep, I dig that. And this is one of those things that's like, as best as we understand, this really happened.
Yep. And that water is cold, folks.
Yeah. In Norway, I'm not sure what time of year this was, but it was probably pretty darn close to freezing.
And he totally did that by accident. He fell off.
And I'll tell you, those Norwegians, I mean, I hear about them, taking baths in freezing waters and going out and sitting in, cold
in
the snow and stuff. It's like, you guys are crazy, but they can handle it.
Oh, I like it. He was doing that, and he fell in the water.
Yeah.
He swam to the camera boat and said, and it told Richard Fleischer, the director, it's like, "Did you get it?"
Well,
and then he swam back. He just wanted to make sure he got the shot.
Speaking of which, someone in the stream was telling me when you were gone that Richard Fleischer was Max Fleischer's son.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I thought, I never put those two pieces together. I always thought the dragon head there was a bit kooky looking, but moose giving birth to a hedgehog. Very, very appropriate for the weekend.
Yeah,
the release of Sonic the Hedgehog.
I haven't touched her yet. So is there meant to be some sort of a parallel and symbolism between his lost eye and Odin?
Never thought about it. I don't think they really bring it up. I think it was more of a vanity issue for the character, and to give him and Eric the to become antagonistic to each other.
Oh yeah.
And of course Eric falls for the girl, so that again also leads to antagonism.
Yeah.
I played a D&D character once that he was a knight, but I rolled a very bad comeliness score.
Yeah.
As far as looks. And I got kind of a low score, and we came up with a backstory that he had taken a mace to the face. And basically he had scars just like that around his eye, and his eye was kind of wonky. He could still see, but he wasn't exactly the most handsome fellow. He was at one time, but it's like, don't want you in between. They either want you totally drunk or totally sober.
Yeah.
Ah. That makes the stakes high at a tug of war. Doing it over fire.
Yup. No, I'll kill myself means I'll kill myself. That was the SJW line from the 50s, I guess. That's a pretty cool picture, pouring out of the handle.
Can I get what's your timestamp?
My timestamp is 51, 16, 17, 18.
Okay, I am a little behind. I think because I did have a few glitches there.
Yeah, it paused, hung up on you a little bit.
Let me try to shoot ahead here.
Don't jump ahead too far.
Okay, tell me when you're at 51:45.
Right about now.
Okay, so I'm right on par there. With the lovely Janet Leigh.
Yeah, and she just poured water out of what looks like a butter churn.
Yeah. I've always loved medieval lamps and Viking lamps.
Yeah.
And like the Roman and the Persian oil lamps and stuff like that.
I wish they made more use of them in movies like this. Ever since I watched Shadiversity's video about the use of torches in history and in fantasy, I'm like, okay, now it kind of ruins the overuse of torches.
Yeah.
You know, you would not have torches burning like this because they don't last very long, and
they burn the building down.
Yeah, exactly.
They would probably just have the big giant fire in the middle and candles spread throughout.
Yeah. And lamps, if you had a lamp, it would be an oil lamp of some kind.
Yeah. Because the Vikings, the North Sea there with seals and whale, there's a lot of blubber to be had.
That's true.
And you render that down, you got yourself a nice oil.
We've been talking about all the history films that we'd really like to see. You know what I'd really like to see is a really good, thoughtful, and as accurate as possible Arthurian legend story.
Oh God, yeah.
I don't mean historically accurate. They tried that and they effed that up.
Oh yeah. I mean, I will always hold Excalibur as my kind of like the pinnacle right now, as far as.
But even that could be really improved on.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, there are aspects of the story that
Well, the biggest problem was what we have with so many other things. They tried to squeeze too much into one movie. Yeah. You could have gotten like 3-4 movies out of that.
What would be really good would be like a 10-episode Netflix series.
You're absolutely right. That probably would be the way to go.
Yeah, because you could concentrate on different night. Because you had Sir Gawain has these great adventures,
right?
Lancelot. Well, there was a. Did you ever see? There was a. I don't know if it was a film or a miniseries done back in the 80s, I believe, and it had Malcolm McDowell as King Arthur. And in it, they did the legend of Gawain with Ragnar.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the ugly pig-looking woman.
Huh.
And how he was the honorable guy and everything, but of course everything was fine because she was really hot.
Yeah.
But that's a legend you don't really see recreated a lot.
Yeah.
The Lady of Shalott would be a interesting one to take. Right. There was a 70s British series about King Arthur. I'm not sure what it was called, but I know it had. I think David Robb played was he Lancelot in it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think his name was David Robb, and he played Lancelot. That's the only element of it I remember as far as being able to track it.
There, go ahead, kill yourself.
Yep.
Because I'm gonna touch you.
Now, of course, it must have been weird. I mean, well, you're an actor, you're used to it, but
Yeah,
having your buddy like on the set, you're sitting there like ravaging his wife.
yeah. Well, that you see that so much in Hollywood films, and I have to wonder if that doesn't have some role to play in all the marriages and divorces that happen so commonly in Hollywood.
Oh yeah, you get around. God, they're separate so much of the time when they're all doing different projects.
Well, and I can't help but think that there's just so much moral bankruptcy,
Wolf 10 Media is asking about Camelot, the musical. That would be cool. I like Camelot. The one Richard Harris, I believe.
Yeah.
Richard Harris, Franco Nero is.
What about
that's a memory nugget that I was able to pull out of nowhere.
What about was it Danny Kaye, Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court?
That'd be fun. The flagon with the dragon, or the pestle with the vessel with the pestle.
And away we go.
Yep. A little ferrying boat, basically, is what they're called. The small little ships. The Viking group, the longship company that's based here in Maryland, they have a little one called the Gear Falcon. But it's a small little ferrying boat like that.
Yeah, well, the princess doesn't row. That's fine. Princess may like it back where she was. Don't lose the oar. What's a bodice?
Well, there you go.
Yeah, but only a Hollywood bodice would tear like that.
But it's hot now.
Oh yeah,
to see it, because you know what I mean. A woman's back, that little indentation down the middle, with the spine. Oh God, I love that. I'd kiss it all the way down. Get a little creepy there, but that's all right.
She'd kill herself first. At least that's what she said.
She would. I'm sure she would.
Good morning. And this is something that the professors talked about too with films, the pacing.
Mm-hmm.
They're not afraid to take their time, show them rowing, getting away. You don't need constant action. Right. And then in the music, you get the reaction. Oh yeah, this is We need to move it. Let's get going.
Yeah. Like I said, I do love the music to this film. I said very 50s, very action, you know.
Yeah.
He's taking my woman.
Yeah. Suddenly she's all about the rowing, isn't she?
And Lister says, I thought women's feet turn you on. Leveling up, I say, I have a list of things. Among them, a woman's back and shoulders. Feet are more recent thing for me. And the feet are more of a joke I have with the professor, but it's now become a full joke. But I do appreciate the curve of a nice foot.
But the reality is there's no way the four of them rowing could outpace
No.
a line ship like that.
Well, they were losing to it, but they needed to get to the fog bank. And what do they have that the others don't? The little compass.
Yeah. This is kind of like the Mutara Nebula.
Yeah. Very, very good analogy there.
Yep. Although the whole Mutara Nebula scene in Star Trek 2 was meant to be evocative of like submarine battles.
Yeah. Did you ever see Eric the Viking?
I did many, many years ago. I don't remember a single thing about it.
I always remember the part where they're in the fog and they have the anglerfish thing that swings the light. And they think it's the sun, but it starts swinging. I always thought that was kind of funny.
I don't remember it. That sounds like one we'll have to rewatch too.
Yeah, it's one of those weird. The film as a whole is kind of it's bizarre because I think it's Terry Gilliam.
Yeah,
so it's got that kind of humor.
And I do like Terry Gilliam in his films.
Ragnar Overboard.
And so now it's just be quiet.
I know it's like one of those little tense moments, where quiet kind of enhances the.
Yeah, don't let them hear us.
Hook me a Viking. That's a big one.
So Mr. Matchstick is asking about an Indiana Jones rewatch. We've done.
I was thinking about that earlier today.
We did Raiders.
Yeah.
We did
Temple of Doom.
Temple of Doom. We need to do Last Crusade.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's all there is. There aren't any others.
I did have this vague bad dream once.
Yeah, I had a nightmare about a nuclear bomb and a refrigerator, but that didn't really happen.
And a flying saucer with aliens.
And I have
crystal heads on them.
I have no interest in whatever it is that they're going to do for another movie. Well, they're just going to kill them off again.
I'll be interested to hear the concept.
Yeah,
but I'm just wondering if they're going to hold to young Indiana Jones lore, where he's an old man with a missing eye floating around a museum.
Yeah. But I have gotten to the point where I wish they'd just leave this stuff alone. All they do is ruin it. It's like,
it just goes on too long. And
It's kind of like how my mother wouldn't let me, touch the good china or whatever because I wasn't old enough to be able to treat it the way it needed to be treated. I
Yeah.
feel like so many things in Hollywood are like that too. Until you can find people that are adults that can actually write, don't touch it. All you're going to do is ruin it.
Yeah, Mr. Matchstick. Yes, there was the Indiana Jones TV show, Young Indiana Jones, where they had two versions. They had a young kid, and then they had a teenager, played by Sean Patrick Flannery. If anybody knows that name. Thought we were going to mention George Lucas and Steven Spielberg raping Indy. Uh, there's a South Park fan, Keely Chow. That's a good one. They're raping him.
Yeah, I do seem to remember the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles.
Yeah. That was a good show. I think it was like on set Sunday night or something. It was it was a good show for a good slot.
But I honestly think they're going to count on people having forgot that and write it out of continuity. He didn't grow up to be an old man. They're going to kill him off, and they're going to turn over the whip to someone else.
Which is a problem. Don't discount your lore because your fans know it.
Yeah.
It's like they're not going to remember that. Yes, they will. Love that cross she has.
I just like the setting.
Yeah.
Aged Boomer, I know about Dan Aykroyd's Crystal Skull vodka. I saw some pictures of a forensic anthropologist who
wasn't that creepy?
Yes, who actually took that skull and reconstructed it as though it was a real skull to see what the person would look like, and it was bizarre, but it totally fit with the vodka theme,
Yeah, there's a hot sauce that comes in a skull too. I saw once, and you can get skull bottles.
Yeah,
to put stuff in. I've got, like I said, I got my Carolina Reaper seeds. If I ever decide to try to grow them, I would love to make just a simple Reaper sauce, and pop it in, just to have it. I don't know if I would ever dare use it. I would definitely need help, or just ask someone to do it for me. Give them a basic recipe and see if they would do it, and like split the yield or something. We need a good movie about Julie Daubeny. Who's that? I'm afraid to look it up because my browser's already been giving me fits tonight.
Well, I just looked her up. She's a 17th century opera singer. I know nothing about her.
Nope. Yeah, I've only got the one browser up right now. I mean, before when I crashed, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 windows open. So I'm pretty sure that's why I lost it. Plus all the grief that streaming can do. I got into the habit of keeping open a Facebook and a Twitter, and a YouTube, and a TV guide kind of thing. Giving her the stone there. Of course, he doesn't know it's his father, sadly.
He kind of looks like Doctor Strange.
He kind of does, doesn't he? It's a great outfit. I mean, it looks right out of like a that representation they had at the time, the way artists were, and
Yeah.
like you look at a coin or a tapestry. Okay, now here's where Ragnar's end goes askew from history. In history, Ragnar was thrown into a serpent pit and was basically bitten by poisonous snakes to death. Here they kind of throw him to hungry hounds. I almost said hungry hippos.
Hippos could be pretty vicious too.
That they can. Doctor Strange looks like Vincent Price. Yes, very much. But I think Benedict Cumberbatch is a great Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah,
he has a perfect look for it. Oh, the art on that wall, God. Dun dun dun. And also, here they make a big deal about having to have a sword in your hand to go to Valhalla. With Vikings was basically a noble death.
Yeah.
You didn't have to have a weapon. If you died bravely,
Right.
then Odin would welcome you into his halls. I do of all the afterlives. I know being a Christian is one thing, but of all the afterlives, Valhalla does sound like the best.
Yeah, and for the Klingons, I have no doubt that Sto-Vo-Kor was based directly on Valhalla.
Yeah, just party all night, fight all day.
Yep.
You fight till you die, then you get resurrected, then you party all night, and then the next day you do it all over again.
Yep.
And you have your friends around, and you tell stories, and you feast and drink. The heroes of the past, and welcome the heroes that come later. That's another tense moment.
Yeah.
Will he do it? Will he allow Ragnar the death with a sword? Yes, he will. I love it. Everybody there is scared to death.
Yeah, what's
One
gonna
guy.
happen here? Well, it's like he just handed a guy a sword. All of you all have swords.
Yeah.
How much damage can he possibly do?
Well, he is Ragnar, and they are not.
True.
Of course, what makes this very bittersweet is that shared look between father and son and not knowing it.
Yeah.
I love this. Odin! It just jumps in
And see, I love this too. You don't see him because they don't want to show the violence, but you see the reactions.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, okay, whatever.
I love that line, the watchdog of my fury.
Yeah. That is one wicked thin mustache.
Mm-hmm. And those eyes, man, he just had these evil eyes.
Yeah.
And I always heard he was like one of the nicest guys, but he just had that look. He looks at you like I'm better than you, and I hate you, and
Yeah.
just all the negative stuff. He looks at you. First, you have Einar, who's lost his eye, much like Odin, and now you have Eric, who has lost his hand, much
Like Tyre.
like Tyr. I always said Tyr, but fortunately, he didn't lose his sword hand. So, like Tyr or Tyre was the best warrior ever. And then he lost his hand, and he kind of slipped down a notch or two, but still, he didn't want to mess with him.
Well, and let's face it. I mean, yeah, it's bad to lose a fighting hand, but you can always learn to fight with the other hand.
Yeah.
There's some appendages you don't have a substitute for.
No. I love that look of Einar with the furs and the big gold thing around his neck.
That medallion,
yeah. He just looks like a savage king, you know.
Yeah.
His sword is very accurate, at least from this distance. The crossguard, not so much, but the pommels were almost dead on.
Mr. Torrin Clegane says, does anyone remember that Incredible Hulk movie where Thor was basically a Pokemon and, and exited his hammer when Donald Blake screamed Odin? What?
Yeah, you never saw that?
I have no I have no idea what you're talking about.
Dude, it's one of the Incredible Hulk movies.
Oh, you mean the Incredible Hulk is in Lou Ferrigno? Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I know what you. Yes, I have it on DVD. Okay, I just don't think of it as a movie because I think of it as just part of the
series. But it was technically a TV movie.
No, you're right. I have that. Heck,
I love that one. I have the one with Daredevil, and
I have all of the and John Rhys Davies says Kingpin. I have all of the Hulk movies. I have the Doctor Strange TV movie.
Oh yeah. Have you ever seen the Alexander the Great pilot starring William Shatner?
No, I haven't.
Yes, it's on YouTube. But they were going to do an Alexander the Great series, and it had William Shatner as Alexander, and it also had Adam West.
Wow. Speaking of Adam West and William Shatner, have you seen the Batman 66 cartoons that they did?
I have not seen that one. I saw the first one.
The first one was great. The second one was also very, very good.
Yeah, I haven't seen the one with Two-Face.
The comics are great too. Mm-hmm. They are excellent.
Oh yeah, the Batman. Yeah, I got a few of those.
I've got
thanks to the prof.
I've got the whole series. I've got Batman and the Avengers. I mean, the original Avengers, not the Marvel Avengers. And the Batman 66 and Wonder Woman 77.
Nice. Now they need to do Superman 79.
There was apparently talk about it, and DC put a kibosh on it. I
This is
think
why nobody likes DC anymore.
exactly. I think that what's his name? Bald-headed guy had something to say about it.
And this, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Lex Luthor.
There's actually probably some happiness in that fact
Yeah.
that when they find he actually did have.
You're right. It is his left hand.
Yeah.
Gosh, that actually does look painful.
What, the eye?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing that I have is the TV movies that they did of Captain America. They were
Oh
they
yeah.
were they were terrible. They
Red
were
Bar-
just terrible.
with Red Brown.
Yep.
But they were for the 70s. I mean, they were fun. They were dumb fun. 70s, early 80s. I forget exactly when, but I liked Red Brown. I mean,
I did too, but I didn't like that he was this, like hippy dippy artist.
yeah,
It wasn't, but when as a kid, I loved the costume and I loved that, plexiglass shield and
yeah,
whatnot.
yeah. Or you could put it on the front of the motorcycle.
Yep, exactly.
Hashtag justice for Ragnar.
There you go. There you go.
Owen List was asking if you've seen the 90s Captain America movie. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's pretty bad too. With Salinger,
Matt Salinger.
Matt Salinger. Thank
Wow, another memory nugget.
you. Yeah. With the the ears, the fake ears on the cowl. Yeah, that was wow.
Yeah.
That was a pretty terrible movie, but yeah, I have seen it. I don't actually have that one, but I have seen it.
And I love that, her reading the runes.
Yep.
Knowing what's going to happen. Well, I do love the look of a Viking ship. I've always wanted a model of one. One of these days I'll buy one. Have you seen the limited edition Doomsday Machine from Eagle Moss?
I have not. No.
They actually have it. You can put batteries in it. The inside of it glows.
Oh, that does sound cool.
Yeah. I think it's like $59.99. I was going through that, like, making a wish list. Like, I wish I had money to buy this. Like the original TOS Galactica.
Yeah.
As much as I love the new series, I don't need like any of the ships from it. But that TOS Galactica, man, that's classic. Anything classic like that. Of course, the TOS Enterprise, anything TOS. But that Doomsday Machine looks pretty sweet. No, I like that one.
Yeah.
The other one was kind of goofy with the big fangs coming out. But a great way to instill fear into the dumb serfs, to see these dragon images coming at you.
Well, and I think there's also the totem thing too.
Yeah,
Even if no one buys it as being actual sea serpents, it's just portraying that and kind of
yeah.
focusing your mind on that.
I've got a horn like that too. I mean, not as large, and it's got a little metal piece for the lips. But
Yeah.
sometimes if I need something for my mother, she's at the other end of the house or the trailer, and she can't hear me yell, I'll pick it out and blow it. And she's like, I hear you. Some people have intercom, some people have horns. Out of the fog, the Vikings came. See, if I were him, once I healed up and was able to wear something on that arm, I would definitely put something like Aquaman's little spear, a little spear point.
Right.
So Tori Kagai's asking about the Captain America serial from the 40s.
Oh gosh, I don't know much about that one at all.
Mr. Matchstick saying the craziest story of Julia d'Aubigny was that she went to a convent to bang a nun, body swapped the nun with a dead nun, and set the convent on fire to help her escape.
Okay, that does sound like a pretty darn interesting story.
Yeah, I'll give it that. Very accurate axes too. I love a Viking axe. I wish I had mine now holding it. I have two, a little hand axe and a little kind of, you need two hands for. Oh, listener, best quote from the stream. I have a horn, but it's not as big, and I blow on it. Hey, if you got a cool Viking horn, blow it. That's what they're made for. And if I hit it if I get my lips just right, it makes a great sound. It just makes it worse.
Wow.
It gets me that they actually pulled it out by the roots instead of just chopping it down. Because it gives it extra weight. Yeah, not so sure about the sheepskin around the legs either, with the wrapping on the leggings, but I do know wrapping around the legs were a thing. I always like the hosen you attach to your belt. I actually got to use the little short hose that go just up to the knee, and then you tie it off with a little band of cloth at the below the knee. It's kind of like having these socks on. They were pretty sweet. You're a poor guy. How the hell did you get a horse?
Yeah, right.
Anachronist. And like I said, that castle that's in France somewhere. I forget exactly where, has a French name, but run away to the castle.
Yeah, I don't know enough about this period to know if any of this is historically accurate, but it seems good to me.
Yeah, I mean it looks good. I'm sure there's a lot like I look at the shield that guy has. That's kind of a couple centuries away. They would have more at this period, probably a round shield like everybody else, or a kite shield, kind of a longer one with a rounded top. I don't think they would have had that shape just yet, or that size.
Yeah.
Because at this point you want as much body protection as possible. Because the Vikings didn't really. I mean, they would wear chainmail just like anybody else, but a lot of them they would just have like leather or just their whatever clothes they had. Some of them are lucky to have a helmet. Yeah, Melissa is asking about how many inaccuracies you could find. I do like Eric's armor. I will say that. It's kind of a little coat of plates kind of dealy happening. A little bit of chainmail in there.
Yeah.
And his helmet's not, I mean, for Hollywood, let's see it from the side again here. It may, if it's too low in the back, it might not be right. His helmet's actually not bad. It's very, very Sutton Hoo inspired. The one that guy, the other guy is wearing very basic, but definitely something they would have had. Owen Lister's turning in, got church in the morning. Aw. Thanks for joining us, Owen Lister.
Take it easy, Owen.
The classic showdown. I like they took their time getting there. They just didn't suddenly boom there.
Yeah, exactly.
They showed the march, Because Vikings, it was like I said, they had a good sail and then a good march to get anywhere. But when you're used to doing it, it's just another day at the office. Now those shields, I don't think they're too authentic. They would have more just painted, covered with leather maybe, or just sometimes just the plain plank wood. Like you can look at a lot of that, it's plywood, but it's just cheaper to do it that way.
Right.
We always tried to make our plywood look like it was planked, by like scoring it.
Yeah.
that worked. You put an edge on it, and you basically look like you had a plank shield. I did make a planked one once out of like full wood instead of plywood. That's some buggo is heavy. I should have used thinner wood.
Ooh,
that hurt.
Yeah, that would pretty much wreck your day. Oof.
Ugh.
Well, yeah, that worked.
Yep. It was worth cutting that tree down for that.
Yep. Okay. Yep. That would be, yeah.
What?
That once they're in, and that's yeah.
Wolfton Media, how accurate do you think the Viking series? Not really. Not at all. But they get some things that are nice, on there, but a lot of it's Hollywood, as Hollywood deems it. Plus the timeline's all over the place.
He's got to lose his helmet because he's the star. You got to see him.
Sorry, gotta look at him. Yep. Yeah, but they got a few tricks.
Okay, yeah. That's don't know if the Vikings ever actually fought like that, but it is clever.
Oh, behind a shield wall?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Did they?
And they had archers.
Ouch. Yeah, see, that's another Hollywood trope that bothers me. You get one arrow in the chest and you're suddenly dead.
Yeah.
The fact is, historically, you could have like 12 arrows sticking out of you and you could still keep going.
Oh, yeah.
It would hurt like heck, but it's possible.
That look of we're not done. We're on each other's side now, but we're not done. Yeah, man, that would take some balls to do.
Yep. But those are the people that make history, right? The ones with the balls.
Well, right through the throat.
Yeah. An arrow through the throat, is probably going to stop you from doing what you're doing. That's for sure.
I was saying the most famous arrow shot in history in my book is still King Harold of England at the Battle of Hastings, right in the eye.
Oh, yeah.
As depicted on the Bayeux Tapestry.
Yep. Yeah, that's pretty clever.
Yep.
That's the kind of thing you do in a D&D game,
Oh, yeah.
It's like, how are we going to get that open? Well, I guess I could climb up there and release the mechanism. Okay, make a climb roll.
Mr. Magic saying Alcibiades died with 15 arrows sticking out of him, and he was naked.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see, Phoenix Sword Aspen's got dead on for me. Any historical movie or show you can watch will be inaccurate for something. Ultimately, you watch it for the drama more than the history. If you want history, you watch History Channel and you watch a documentary. If you're watching the movie for the story.
That may be the intent of the audience, but I just think that if you're going to make a movie, try to make it accurate.
Yeah, you try, but
because I'll tell you, sometimes that historically accurate story is some good story.
Yeah. Well, you look at Braveheart. I mean, they got all kinds of stuff historically inaccurate in that sucker. I mean, the Battle of Stirling Bridge didn't have a bridge.
Right.
And the armor and stuff like that was weird, and they didn't wear kilts like that. You know, there was a lot of stuff wrong with it, but it's a great movie. Mr. Matchstick, the History Channel, the one with the aliens. Yep.
You know, it's funny you say that because I remember when the History Channel first started and basically all they had was World War II documentaries. We called it All Hitler all the time.
I was thinking right now, yep, should have killed him.
Yep.
And ultimately, the way Ayala, who is of course about to die, there's no doubt. In real life, he was captured and given the blood eagle. If anybody knows what that is, it is a nasty way to die. And the History Channel actually got that right. Their series, they captured Ayala and then just, cut the blood eagle into his back, splayed out his ribs and hung him up. Looked like an eagle.
Yeah, I think that probably would have been a little too grisly for this movie, though.
Yeah, but it is. It was. I tell you, it's hard to watch on the History Channel because they don't really show it, but you do see blood splattering all over the place. Now, I'm not sure about the grappling hooks either, but I always considered that an anchor when I was growing up. That's the kind of anchor my grandfather would use for his boat. Hello?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, okay.
I was just sneezing and I wanted to turn off my mic so that I wasn't sneezing in your ear.
Yeah, I was hearing a weird click. Like I didn't know if it was me or you. Have you heard of Pathfinder, a movie with Carl Urban, Native American and Vikings? Yeah, I've heard of it. I haven't watched that, though. Of course, the word for Native Americans that the Vikings had were Skraelings, screaming wild men, which was the name of the first medieval group I belonged to, the Skraelings. Shout out to all my Skraeling homeboys and girls. Then I belonged to the Order of St. Michael, which was a group down here.
Yeah, well, that doesn't mean much to him, apparently.
No, just a room to him with stuff to take.
Yep.
And a hot woman
to take.
To ravage. Boy, those things do have a way of pointing out, don't they?
Yeah. You got some torpedoes going on there, girl.
Oh, God, you got some Madonna action happening there for those cones.
Yeah, go ahead.
You do kind of feel sorry for Einar a little bit. Because he lost his father and
kind
of found a feisty woman and but she loves someone else.
Yeah, I'll just escape again.
Very Helen of Troy.
Yeah, right?
Judy launched 3 ships. Still, it's not bad. She's so hot they laid siege to a castle for her. That'll inflate a girl's head. Phoenix asked me a chance we'll do a Gladiator rewatch. Sure.
I think eventually, yeah.
That's a great movie.
Isn't that the one where the Joker sleeps with his sister? Think about it.
I like how he runs into the camera.
Yeah.
toward they talking about History Channel. It's one with all the pawn shops and picking crap. I like this. Actually, the picking stuff. There's some historical stuff that you can find in there. Recent history, but some tidbits. Same thing with the pawn show. You can learn a few things about some stuff from history. Sometimes. If I can't have your love, I'll take your hate.
Yeah, I mean, it's still passion, right? Yeah, we do need to do a 300 rewatch. That's another great one.
Oh, yeah. Of course, not the way you fight with a Viking sword, but
I was going to say, this isn't the way you fight with just about any sword, really.
Yeah, well, fencing rapier maybe, but
yeah, maybe. But fencing is not.
It's more pointy as
not,
opposed to slashy.
And it's not combat fighting. Fencing
Yeah.
is a sport. Wow, that is a beautiful view.
Yeah. I see Eric doesn't know, but Einar does. I think he's starting to see it in his face. Like in another world.
Yeah. We could have been brothers.
Yeah. Or like real brothers. That looked painful.
Yeah.
Boing, 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 boing.
Jeez. Oop. That's a problem.
That's the image that's on my thing right there.
Yep.
You just stab him in the groin.
Yeah, with a broken sword.
Yeah.
Oops, I didn't do that.
I like it. It's like, why did he hesitate?
You just killed your brother. He's got to get that sword in his hand, at least based on the story they've created here.
Yeah, and that's. I mean, he'd be going to Valhalla anyway, but.
Yeah, I mean, come on. You die in combat, you know, you're going to drop your sword as you die. That's what happens, you know. Oh, yeah. And also, you notice the fillings? I don't think Vikings had fillings like that. Although these days, if you made a movie, you could always take those out digitally.
True, yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things you just accept. Yeah, modern dentistry, it happens. Well, of course, Jim Carrey, when you chip your actual tooth in order for a role.
Oh my gosh! Right?
You know what I'm talking about, too.
Yeah, I do.
Dumb and Dumber, yeah.
When I heard about that, I'm like, boy, you took the Dumb and Dumber thing way too much to heart.
I always said I would love to have a Viking funeral. I wish it wasn't against Catholic belief, but maybe a ceremonial Viking funeral, like with an effigy. I love how she looks with that thing and the crown on.
Yeah, I was just thinking that too.
About 300 and a couple volumes of Sin City, Casey Scott was talking about. I saw the first Sin City. I didn't see a second one. The second one, I like the first one. Well, I love when they had the one lone shot at the very beginning. The thing is, the guy fired on 2 instead of 3, and the director liked the look of it, so he kept it in.
Yeah, I mean, it did.
Yeah, he said
like it was intentional, you know.
He said, "Hey, it hit the sail the way I wanted it," and then he's like, "That one was the first shot," and then everybody else follows suit.
Yeah.
The Vikings.
Okay, that was a good movie. That was a good pick, Al.
Yep. Directed by Richard Fleischer. Kirk Douglas, thank you for all the great films you have given us.
Yep.
Well, Tony Curtis too. Basically, everybody in this movie's dead. But,
true.
But still, just a great adventure movie. Keyed right into the love I always had for the Middle Ages and the Viking Age. Based on the novel The Viking by Edison Marshall. I can never get that. I can never find that book. Melissa Harrison said being out cremations against being Catholic. Kind of. Actually, they do allow cremation, but you need your ashes to remain together. You can't have your ashes spread, but you can be cremated. I love the
Wow.
yeah, great film. There's
That was a
Leo.
really, really good call.
Yeah, great film. Just I don't know. Like I said, I've always loved the era, the look of it. For the most part, they get a lot right. They get a lot wrong, but for the most part, it's a great. They hit a great balance, and for a 50s Viking movie, it did a damn good job. Um, it was a moderate hit when it came out, so really big in Japan, I heard. It even spawned a TV series, which I did not know until I read about it tonight.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, the Viking Tales or something. But yeah, well, that is the Viking rewatch. I hope everybody enjoyed that. I know I sure did, except for that little glitch I had when Eric was in the pool.
Yeah, I really did. I really did freak
browser.
out there for a minute because I was like, I could totally carry the show if I have to, but is
But
this gonna
yeah,
like kick me out now in like 10 seconds or something?
yeah, it's always been.
Al, did I lose you again? Hello? I'm not hearing you, Al. Are you hearing me? Am I still on mic?
You're on mic. I can't hear.
Okay. Al, if you can hear me, Nanette said she can't hear you. We lost you. Although I'm still seeing your icon there, we're not hearing you. And Aged Boomer, I did not have any Viking related action figures now that you mentioned it. The closest thing I had was I had a couple of Dungeons and Dragons action figures that looked kind of like Vikings. But no, I didn't. And he's gone again. So, you know what, guys? I think I'm going to vamp for a little bit. There you are. There you are.
It was. I think that was my Wi-Fi. Just kind of dropped me out.
Okay. Well, good. You're back.
I just had to refresh the page, and
Perfect.
then reboot and then relog back in. But
well, the other thing too is I'm not watching StreamYards, so when you go away, it's a bit of a lag before.
Yeah, it's like before you realize I'm actually gone.
Exactly.
Yeah, I didn't know I was gone until you was like, Alan, I can't hear you, Al. and I'm like, son of a bitch.
Again, right?
And then I get the little things like, it's like maybe you should use an Ethernet. I'm like, yeah, it'd be nice. It's easy to say use an Ethernet cable, but it's kind of impractical. But yeah, that's all I had for tonight. I believe next week is yours.
Yes. So,
what you got for us?
Well, I am planning to do the pilot episode, the 2-hour pilot of Twin Peaks. This is the 30th anniversary of Twin Peaks. So I thought I would do that. If do you know right now? Well, I guess this is a loaded question. There's no way to know for sure, but Fan Man doing something on Friday next week?
I am not sure.
Okay. Because
like I said, because of his daughter has volleyball, and so that's family comes first. Totally accurate. So I don't know about her schedule, and so it's really up to her schedule and if he's able to do it. So Friday night is Fan Man's night, unless he can't go, and then I'm sure someone could try to step in. Or,
because I was going to say, if there's nothing else going on that Friday night, and you'd be interested, I would love to do something as like a lead in to Twin, just like a little talk about David Lynch and the whole Lynchian thing. You know what I mean? Because I think people could really use a primer, I think, on David Lynch before we jump right into it, because it could be some pretty heavy stuff. Plus, with all the talk that's been going on about the upcoming new Dune film, it would be great to talk about Lynch and what he contributed to that particular fandom.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. As much as he got wrong, it's still a great movie. It's a fun movie to watch.
Mr. Matchstick asked, "Is Twin Peaks a mystery thing?" It absolutely is. It was the the big the whole series was based
Death
around the
of
whole
Death
death
of Sarah Palmer.
no, Sarah
Oh,
Palmer was the mother, Laura Palmer.
Laura Palmer. That's it.
Basically the homecoming queen that everyone loved, but then you start to find out more and more about her history and the people around. It became very soap opera-ish, very very pulp fiction melodramatic, but with a very weird kind of Lynchian uh uh overarching thing to it. We'll talk more about it, but yeah.
Now I have to find out if I can get a hold of this 2 hour. Now, would it be like the first 2 episodes, or
Well,
like how might it be set up?
so there's that's an interesting little thing. So there's different versions you can get. There was a
Oh, great.
European release of it. So part of the deal with the network was they were really concerned that or the foreign market was very concerned whether or not the series would be something that they could market overseas. So they wanted the original pilot to be done in the form of a movie with an ending. And Lynch
Right.
really did not want to do that, but they forced him to do it. So there, for the longest time, the only thing that you could get was the European version that had this tacked on ending and the rest of the series on VHS. The VHS did not come with the pilot. It literally starts with the
Oh, and
the
there's
third
literally and
yeah,
there's literally 2 season 1s because they did an extra season, right?
right, because there was a second season, right?
Okay, here's the one from 90. It's a 44. It's got 8 episodes according to this, and the first episode is 44 minutes. So I don't know what I've actually got here.
So I'll make sure that you're squared away. We'll
Cool.
find out what we need to do to get you the right one. And it's because it's really weird, because if you wanted, for the longest time, if you wanted to watch the original series, in any home media, you'd have to watch the European version and you'd have to stop it at a certain point,
Right.
and then you'd have to start the next episode. It was just kind of weird. But there's been
First, I must say it's got a pic. It's the screenshot that they've got on here for you to start is of the lovely Sherilyn Fenn. I must say,
she's wonderful.
She is.
One of the things I'll be talking about too is all the people that I've met that worked on the show, and she's one of them. And she's just a lovely, lovely person in real life.
Awesome.
So yeah, so that's the plan for next week.
Okay.
But before then, we have, let's see, Tuesday we have office hours.
Tuesday's office hours. Thursday will be the next few chapters in Heir to the Empire. I think up through 29.
Yep.
I think that's it, and then the next week we're going to finish it out.
And then we'll see if Fan Man's doing anything on Friday. If not, I might maybe, if you want to join me, we might do a little Lynch primer.
That's cool, because I really don't know a lot about Lynch. I mean, I've seen some of his stuff, but I don't really have an inner viewing into his brain.
Most people don't, and that's what's really kind of cool about it. It's you walk away from a Lynch film and you go, what did I watch? And then you could spend the next 30 years talking to people about it, and what did you get out of it? What did you get out of it?
Yeah,
pretty good.
Well, like I said, so yeah, next week will be a Twin Peaks week. For me, the week after, still a long time to think about it. Don't know yet. Since we had like a old action adventure, might pull it back to. We really haven't had a good screwball comedy.
Yeah, maybe, not since that
maybe
thing in the woods, that one. Matinee that we did. Yeah.
Dale and Tucker.
Yeah.
I mean, we always got, so, like I said, I can always do Midnight Madness. Definitely would love to get.
I think if you do Midnight Madness, you need Jeanette as your co-host. I don't even need to be on it. It needs to be her, because she knows that movie.
So with that, you can also get her on here by doing Blues Brothers.
Blues Brothers, absolutely.
Yeah, so there, always possibility one of those two. But I'll kind of like gauge, see what the feeling I'm into, and kind of see, because I know people will pretty much like everything. A lot of
Matchstick is recommending Spaceballs.
baseball is definitely a possibility. Definitely a possibility. Effective, oh, man, that's rocketing to a top there.
Yeah, that's not a
Um,
bad one.
yeah, because like I said, like I like to split it up a little bit. I don't like to go, swashbuckling action. I'll save Clash of the Titans for a little bit. Maybe like another month or
Now
so.
you mean the original Clash?
The
of the
original,
Titans.
not the
Okay,
new one.
okay,
No.
okay.
The new one was fine, but it's not Clash of the Titans. Clash of the Titans is Harry Hamlin and the guy,
Right, right.
and Bubo. You have to have Bubo helping.
And
You
that
know?
Ray Harryhausen stop motion
Yeah,
animation.
and the stop motion stuff, definitely have to have that stuff. But yeah, we'll find something I think fun. Like I said, went a little heavy tonight with a little, fighting and death and stuff. I think maybe do something a little on the fun side, a little wacky, something wacky, fun, unique, odd, like me.
Aren't we all though?
Yep. Honor the historical Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Yeah, we will definitely do that. I'm gonna say Bubba Hotep, Casey. I'll do it. It's on the list. Trust me. Just have to do it. I just have to be inspired by the right thing. But yeah, definitely Holy Grail's a definite. It's going to happen. Holy Grail's going to happen. And I definitely think the professor will get on just to make fun of the entire film.
Right.
And I'll have fun dumping his ass. Oops, something happened to his mic. No, I wouldn't do that.
I'll tell you what, if people like the David Lynch thing and they like the Twin Peaks, then at some point in the future we're gonna have to do Mulholland Drive.
Yeah, I never saw that.
Oh, you would like it.
Never saw Twin. Ooh, would I?
Yeah. Trust me.
Okay, but yeah, that's all for tonight. Hope everyone had a good time with us going to Viking, and like I said, nice tribute to Kirk Douglas. We have sent him off to a Viking funeral. Very appropriate ending, I think. For
I agree.
Yeah,
that's why I think it was a good choice.
I think about much more noble way to die. Well, Spartacus would have been a bad, better Viking funeral than being crucified. As long as you're not Jesus.
Yeah.
So hope everyone has a good evening. Like I said, we'll be back on Tuesday to talk about who knows what. I'm sure we'll talk about how Birds of Prey is dying even of a worse death, and maybe a little something about Sonic. But until then, have a great Sunday. And for those who enjoy the Daytona 500, buckle up, boys. Time to go racing.